Solo Leveling episode 9. And man, this episode was full of surprises. I don't think I'm the only one that thought this episode was full of surprises, because from beginning to end I think we can all agree that this episode was basically that, an episode full of surprises. I think one of the main reasons why this episode was a big surprise, at least to me, is because I didn't actually remember that Kang Taeshik was one of the guys that was present when Son Jin-Woo woke up when he recovered from the dungeon. I didn't actually remember that. Again, he was one of the ones that was present there. Maybe if I had remembered that, I would have arrived at this episode with a different mentality. I don't know what the mentality would have been, but yeah, definitely would have been different. But because I didn't remember, well, I came to this episode with a different mentality. I don't know how to exactly describe it, although to be honest, that mentality is more like not having a mentality at all, because I didn't actually know what was going to happen in this episode. I only knew that they were going to go inside a dungeon and maybe kill some monsters, and that is that. And yeah, even though the episode has some aspects of that, the episode was more than that, because I guess the biggest surprise of them all was Kang Taeshik, the guy that was supposed to be a good guy. I actually thought when I saw him in the last episode that he was actually a good guy, that he was actually only doing his job, that he was assigned the job of going into this dungeon. But again, I was wrong, because we saw his true nature. He showed his true nature in this episode. His true nature is that of basically wanting to kill people, because that is how he described himself as. Because of that, he kills not only the prisoners, because if we remember correctly, he was, I guess you can say, assigned to kill them because of a revenge that a person had against them. But he didn't only do that because he wanted to take revenge on the guy that basically paid him. No, not only that, but it was also because he's simply that person. He simply wants to kill people, like I said before. But I guess you can say the biggest surprise was not that. The biggest surprise was that he didn't stop in just killing them, the prisoners. He went and killed the other people. And I mean, that was actually pretty sad, because we had the family man that was also killed. I guess you can say if he would have stopped maybe at killing the prisoner, you could have maybe fool yourself or make an argument into saying that maybe he did it because he simply wanted revenge or justice. But when he went further than that, I mean, there was no excuse, there was no saving him. So I mean, yeah. And I said this episode was full of surprises, because not only were those two surprises big enough to shock us. The two surprises that I'm speaking about is Kang Taeshik being a bad person, and the other one, him killing the other two innocent people. Not only were those two very shocking, but also the fight itself between Kang and Son Jin-Woo. I didn't thought that for starters Son was going to fight him at all in this episode, but once it happened, I have to say that the fight was actually very exciting, was actually very good. And I didn't actually expect Son Jin-Woo to win that easily. I mean, yeah, it is not like he went unscathed, but I guess you can also say at the same time that he didn't struggle that much, because I mean, yeah, he defeated him without necessarily suffering that much compared to before when he fought basically bosses and monsters. And what does that tell us? It tells us that basically Son Jin-Woo is around rank B level, or perhaps even rank B level itself, because we have to remember that the other guy, what was his name? Woo Jin-chul? That was the other guy that was also present when Son Jin-Woo woke up at the hospital, the one that we saw at the end of the episode, mentioned that Kang is actually not only a rank B level, but actually one of the upper ranks of the rank B levels. So yeah, Kang is no ordinary, level B adventurer. He's actually very high rank B adventurer. And for Son Jin-Woo to defeat him at all, and to add to that, I guess you can say easily, says a lot about Son Jin-Woo. I mean, it was mentioned, there was a little line from Kang that mentioned that, he is getting stronger, but at the same time, he's losing his humanity, which I guess you can say is true, because we see him in this episode, acting like a machine, almost like he didn't have any sort of emotion. So yeah, he's in the edge looking down at the abyss, and the abyss is also looking, at him. So yeah, you can say that, getting powerful also has its drawbacks. It was also pretty interesting seeing the reactions from Mr. Song and Joo-hee, to Son Jin-Woo being a lot stronger. They were actually very surprised when seeing him being very strong. The thing that I was most surprised about was them learning about, that Son Jin-Woo has killed people. I thought that specifically Joo-hee was going to be a little bit more shocked, but that was actually not the case. She was actually a little bit more understandable than I thought she was going to be. So yeah, that surprised me a little bit, that she was very understanding of the circumstances that surround, Son Jin-Woo. So yeah, but yeah, that was basically everything that happened in the episode. If you don't want to miss any episode reviews, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that will be everything by me, and I guess I'll see you you all in the next episode review.